Hey guys, I'm Amy Rose Eisenbach with AMC Movie News, and this is AMC Movie Talk. We're going to start today off like we do with every show, catching you up to speed with everything going on in entertainment. The new Muppets movie is set to start shooting in London next month, and it looks like the cast is rounding out. Not returning for the sequel are Jason Segel or Amy Adams, but Modern Family's Ty Burrell is on board and is now being reported that comedian Ricky Gervais will be joining the new cast as well. Joining me today is senior editor of AMC Movie News, John Campea. How you doing?
Good, Amy Rose.
Good. So, John, what do you think about this news? Good or bad?
Okay, first of all, the last Muppet film was, Dennis and I were actually just talking about it because he's never seen it. It's delightful.
Oh, it's delightful.
That is the best word I can really come up with for that. It's a delightful movie. I loved it. I love Jason Segel in it. I love him in everything. Mm-hmm. Amy Adams is, of course, Amy Adams. So it's unfortunate that, we heard a long time ago that Jason Segel wouldn't be returning for the next Muppet film, and that's unfortunate. But Ty Burrell, I love Modern Family.
I love him.
And he's so great on it. And so I'm really happy to see him in here. But obviously the really interesting name here is Ricky Gervais. Mm-hmm. Gervais is a brilliant comedian. I've also really, for the most part, loved him when I see him on screen. I really enjoyed his little film Ghost Town. Not a lot of people have seen it, but I thought it was really quite good. I loved his little role in Stardust. I love him on anything he does on television. I love him when he hosts award shows. I really hated his last movie. I think it was his last movie, Inventional Lying. I thought that
was awful. Jennifer Gardner.
Beyond awful. That was a terrible, terrible film. But besides that, he's brilliant. And he just did a little guest spot on Louis as Louis's doctor, I think a season or two ago. That was just mind-blowingly funny. I think his style of humor would fit perfectly with a Muppets film. So yeah, sign me up for Ricky Gervais being in the Muppets. Unfortunately, it's not Jason Segel coming back, but these are great replacements.
Great. Hunger Games star Hutcherson has just signed on to star in the new film Paradise Lost. The film also stars Benicio del Toro as the infamous drug lord Pablo Escobar. The story follows Nick, played by Hutcherson, a surfer who visits his brother in Colombia and falls in love with a gorgeous local girl named Maria. But the couple's peaceful romance is disrupted when Nick discovers that Pablo Escobar is her uncle. Now, John, do you think Hutcherson's ready to be the big star in a film yet?
It's funny. We think of a guy like Josh Hutcherson and we think he is a big movie star, but really he hasn't led as an adult actor. He hasn't led his film. Now, he was the lead in Bridge to Terabithia. But I would still qualify him as a child actor at that time. He's been in some big films, but he's not the lead in Hunger Games. He's not the lead in Red Dawn. He's not the lead in a lot of these films. And now he was the lead in Detention, but that was a smaller, more independent film, which he was really great in. But I tell you, I've always liked this kid. I think he is a solid actor. He's just a great kid. I've had a chance to meet with him and talk to him a few times. I think he's loaded with talent. You put him opposite a guy like Benicio del Toro.
One of the best.
This is a great opportunity for him to shine. He's leading a high-profile film alongside of an Academy Award-winning actor. This is a great opportunity for him. I'm glad he got this role. I'm anxious to see how well he does.
Great. The most consistent character throughout the Marvel movie universe has been Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, who's been the single thread tying all the Marvel characters together in one form or another, leading into the Avengers. There was a lot of talk that a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie would be coming in the near future, but now it appears that there will be no S.H.I.E.L.D. nor Nick Fury movie, and that instead Fury will play a more major role in the upcoming Captain America sequel, titled Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, John, are you kind of surprised there won't be a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie?
Yeah. If you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said, extremely surprised. But we've known for a little while now that, look, instead they seem to be developing a S.H.I.E.L.D. television show. They've got things like Ant-Man on the come. They've got things like Guardians of the Galaxy on the coming up as well. So not really super shocked that they don't have room right now for a Nick Fury movie. But when you consider the fact that they pretty much put Nick Fury in everything, now he's not going to be in the new Thor, and he's not going to be in the new Iron Man. We know that. I'm actually more than satisfied to see that he's getting a larger role in one of the other title characters movies, the next Captain America film. I think this will work out just fine. I love this character, but I don't think you need a full feature film on him. Just keep giving us bits and pieces of him through all these Marvel films. I love him that way.
Yeah, keep tying the universe together.
Yep.
Speaking of Samuel L. Jackson, who was fabulous in Django, by the way, it's just been announced that Jackson will re-team up with the director from Snakes on a Plane, David Ellis, for the new film KITE. KITE will be based on the 1998 dark short feature anime film of the same name. Now, John, are you looking forward to this KITE film?
Unbelievably so. For those of you who aren't familiar with KITE, it was originally, I think, 2 half-hour episodes that then kind of got combined into one feature that ends up being about 45, 46, 47 minutes long, whatever. It's so brutal. I mean, honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that they're going to turn this into a feature film. This will be a hard R film, regardless of where it goes. Basically, for those of you who aren't familiar with KITE, and I encourage you to look it up if you're not, it follows this young 13, 14-year-old girl whose parents get brutally murdered. And she kind of gets, in a way, adopted by these 2 corrupt cops. And one of these cops immediately starts having a sexual relationship with the young girl. She grows up to be a lethal assassin used by her guardians. And then there's another kid assassin involved. And there's all sorts of sex and violence. But it's brutal. I mean, it's brutal. So Samuel L. Jackson involved, clearly probably going to be one of these cops in the story. And the director from Snakes on a Plane, which means there's no fear of being ridiculous. This could be really good. I am very, very curious to see how they handle it, because like I said, the original anime is absolutely shockingly brutal. And if they can somehow translate that onto the big screen, it could be a really very cool adult movie-going experience. It could be quite cool.
They can get away with a lot more in anime.
Yes.
All right. Paramount has just hired Predator's writer Michael Finch to write their supernatural action project Hellified. This may be getting a new title. Andy Berg's spec was picked up back in 2009, and the project is produced by Lorenzo de Bonaventura, and the story is about a strike force comprised of criminals that goes to hell in order to put a stop on the end of days. Now, does this sound like a good one to you, John?
Yep. Yep. This is absolutely the type of brainless fluff I eat up in huge quantities. A SWAT team made up of criminals sent to hell to combat the apocalypse. This is ridiculous. This is completely ridiculous. But so is the notion of giant kaiju monsters coming up from a portal rift in the bottom of the Pacific Ocean to be combated by giant human robots.
Yes.
Dennis, are you going to eat this one up as much as I am?
I don't know if I'm going to eat it up as much as you are, but I'm intrigued. And as long as the movie knows what it is and doesn't try and be like totally serious, I think it can be entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Don't take itself too seriously. Understand we're sending a SWAT team of criminals into hell to fight the apocalypse. You keep that in mind as long as it's aware of itself that way. I think this could be a lot of fun. I mean, look, a lot will depend on who they're going to get to direct this thing. A lot will depend on what type of cast. Look, if we find out that, Michael Bay is directing and he's getting The Rock in it, then I think we are in for a good time. If they bring in Martin Scorsese and get Daniel Day-Lewis, I don't think that's a good fit. Clearly a better director, clearly a better actor, but not the right fit. It won't work.
They have to have fun with it.
So we'll find out a lot more when we hear what type of movie this is going to be once we know who's going to be in it and who's going to be directing it. But I hope they go the ridiculous route because this sounds like a lot of fun.
The first trailer for the upcoming Smurfs 2, which will open in AMC theaters everywhere on July 29th, has just hit the web. The new film sees the return of the original voice cast, Katy Perry, Alan Cumming, George Lopez, Anton Yelchin, and Fred Armisen, and will add the voices of Christina Ricci and J.B. Smoove. Great name. Now, John, what do you think of the trailer?
The first Smurf film, I got to admit something here. The first Smurf film had a lot of hate. A lot of people didn't like it. And I expected to not like it. I fully expected not to like it. I got to tell you, I thought the Smurfs was cute. I'm not going to sit here and say it was a really solid motion picture.
They were kind of creepy.
No, I mean, there are a lot of people who had many problems with it, but I got to tell you, when I walked out of it, I was like, you know what? I kind of had a fun little silly time with it. I thought it was kind of charming, kind of cute. It didn't have any depth or anything like a real you want to find in your motion pictures, but I thought it was kind of cute. The film also made over $500 million worldwide. Reportedly on a budget of about $110 million, it made over $550 million worldwide. So the fact that they're doing a sequel is no surprise. And it's the Smurfs. You can make 100 of these films. I got to tell you this too. I loved loved Gargamel in it. I absolutely loved Gargamel in it. I thought he was what's the actor's name who played Gargamel again?
Hank Azaria.
Hank
Hank
Azaria,
Azaria.
thank you.
I love him.
I just watched America's Sweethearts again the other night.
He's
where he plays
fantastic.
the Spaniard in that. As Gargamel, he's great. I thought he was great as Gargamel. So you know what? This trailer, I mean, I don't really like the look of the trailer, to be honest with you. But the reason I told you that I thought the first Smurfs movie was cute and I loved Azaria as Gargamel and I thought it was kind of charming, if not a great motion picture, is because I really didn't like the trailer to the first Smurfs movie either. I hated the trailers to the first Smurf movie, and I actually ended up thinking it was kind of cute. So this trailer, I don't hate it. It doesn't do anything for me.
But you'll see it.
But the first one didn't do anything for me either, and I ended up enjoying the first Smurfs movie.
Great.
So who knows?
Who knows? I just rewatched Birdcage with Hank Azaria in it. Salvador
So good.
Spartacus. So good. Great. Well, that will do it for this edition of AMC Movie Talk. Thanks for joining me, John.
Thank you.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like our Facebook page. We would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Rose Eisenbach. Have a great day.